Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And today we're going to be fermenting eggs. Yeah, really. Let's get to it. Okay, so what I have here are 9 hard-boiled eggs, and these are from my own chickens. And yes, I've been getting about 3 to 4 eggs a day now, which has been very cool. So I can't wait till all 7 of them are laying, and I'm just totally covered up in eggs. But I had a dozen, but I ate 3 of them. I love hard-boiled eggs. They're kind of my weakness. And so what I'm going to do with these eggs is I'm going to put them into a mason jar. And using a quart-sized jar, and obviously my eggs are still kind of small yet. My hens are pretty young, but they've been getting steadily bigger, coming along. And to this, I'm going to add a teaspoon, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to go a little heavier on the salt this time than I did last time. And this is the Redmond real salt. And I'm realizing by looking in here on top of the eggs, you should be able to see the flecks of color better on this. I'm always trying to show you, but I feel like it never shows up right. But standing out against that egg should make it obvious. And that is the minerals in the salt. And that is why you want to go with a good healthy salt like your Redmond Real or your Himalayan salt. Again, the Redmond Real salt is my favorite. High in minerals that your body needs. And when you're eating a good healthy salt, by the way, that will actually prevent high blood pressure rather than raise it like your white, purified, stripped of everything good table salts. Yes, you're going to pay a bit more for these kind of salts, but it's worth the money because you're paying for your health. It's a lot cheaper investment than doctor bills. So, and pharmaceuticals. All right, and so to this, I'm going to be using my newly made apple fermentation starter. And if you're new to my channel and have never heard about my fermentation starter or how to make one, it's really easy, and you can find a video on how to do that right up here. Okay, so to this, I want to add 1/4 cup of the fermentation starter. Now, you can also use whey for this. This is probably the more common method you might have heard of. I'm going to add just a bit more because that's just the way I am, and this is cheap, easy, free, actually. And once you've used some of your fermentation starter, if you're not going to use it immediately, right, for something else, then just go ahead and toss in a little more sugar so it has something to feed on, because it does need to be fed periodically, and then top it off with your filtered rainwater. Put the lid on. I store it in the refrigerator when I'm not using it, but when I pulled it out to use it, I like to feed it, let it warm up, get to room temperature, make sure it's real bubbly and fizzy, and then I'll put it back in the fridge until I need it again. All right, so now I'm going to add my filtered rainwater to this, to my eggs and my salt. And I'm going to put the lid on. I'm using the Tatler lid. I do plan on investing eventually in the Fido jars, which I believe would be how you pronounce it because they are Italian, so the Fido jars. And I learned about them from Melanie at Road to the Farm, so if you haven't seen her channel, go check her channel out. Great, great channel. And they look like really nice jars. They have the glass top. But whenever I'm fermenting, I prefer to not use a metal top. So I'm using my Tatler lids for this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to shake that around to mix in the salt and the fermentation starter into the water. So while I'm here, I want to talk real quick about a couple other things I have going on here. So over here I have some hard and soft white wheat berries soaking in my peach vinegar water for drying and then grinding into flour. And you can find a video on how I do that right up here. And then in here I am soaking some raw organic almonds. I am really happy with these almonds. I just got them in the other day. These are truly organic. They have not been sprayed with anything, and they're truly raw. So you can find a link to these below and where I got mine. And I believe I got them on the subscribe and save, which means if you go through Amazon and set up a subscribe and save, as long as you have at least 5 items that you're getting delivered to you monthly, and you can change it anytime, but you get 15% off. So it's a really good deal. And then here they are. This is what they look like you know, before they're soaking. So what am I doing with these? I'm soaking these right now because tomorrow I'm going to be making some almond milk, and you can find a video on making nut or seed milk right up here. I actually have 2 of them out. But then, not just the milk, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pulp and then dry it out and use it as an almond flour for making those great crackers, that recipe I got from Wanda. And you can find that video right up here. And then the other thing I'm going to be doing, and this is why I wanted to bring this up because I don't think I'll do a whole separate video on this, is I also got in, and I think it's the same brand as the almonds, maybe, some medjool dates. Now I bought these years ago and loved them, and these are a great natural sweetener, especially for using in your nut milks and your smoothies and things like that. You just make sure you take the pits out, throw 1, 2, or 3, however many you want in there for sweetening, into your milk, your smoothie as you're making it, and it just adds a really nice flavor and a nice amount of sweetness that's completely natural. And these are organic, really, really good dates, and I will also link to these below. Okay, so I'll be back in a few days to show you the outcome, what the eggs should look like when they're ready. See you in a bit. Well, it's been 3 full days and my eggs are ready, and I want you to see what they look like. The water should look cloudy, and you should see a lot of bubbles at the top. You can kind of see in there, see the bubbles. You won't be able to hear much, but so I won't bother holding it up to the mic. And then the smell is like fermented eggs, but to me it smells really good. It sounds like it would smell stinky, but I like the smell of it, and I really like the taste of these. Basically they taste like just a salted hard-boiled egg, except when you're eating them, the texture is a little bit different. I noticed it's a little tougher, but it's still very good. And it has almost a fizziness in the egg itself while you're eating it. So just another way you can preserve eggs or just prepare them for eating, and with a little bit more healthy way about it, especially if you like pickled eggs. What I recommend doing is starting with maybe 1 or 2 eggs at a time in just a small jar to see if you're going to like it first, which if you like hard-boiled eggs, I think you would. And that's what I did. I started with just 2 eggs, and then I knew this would happen. I was wishing I would have made more. So I'm going to be enjoying some of these for lunch today. And then I wanted to show you real quick, the other day, I made a batch of almond milk, and I'm going to be talking more about this in another video because I want to go over my old almond milk video. I'm going to be redoing that anyway because I've learned something different when it comes to almonds and certain other nuts and making the nut milk that you should know about, and I'll be talking about that in the future, so watch for that. But this right here is the flour I made from the pulp left over from making the almond milk, and so I just dehydrated it out and then I ground it up fine in a coffee grinder is what I use for this. Alright, one more thing before I close this video, and that is after your eggs are fully fermented, make sure that you store them in the refrigerator, and they should last for a pretty long time. I can't say for sure at this point how long because I am pretty new to this, but I know with my other fermented foods they can last for many months in the refrigerator. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.